Hi guys, cannot hear you yet. I think you guys are on mute. You guys are on mute.
Hello,
Okay. Yes.
Hi, welcome. Welcome, Zachary. Welcome, Andrew. Andy, please take over as the guest for Zoom people.
Sure.
Please talk to everyone on the Zoom. There's someone there. Andrew is from Tunchum Club.
Zachary, I don't know actually.
Yeah. So all the best, Zachary. Have a nice meeting today.
Sorry, I'm a guest.
Yeah, you are guests, so guests are also welcome here. Have a nice meeting with us.
Everybody's welcome.
I'm looking forward to it.
Andrew, we are going to have some nice training for you for the contest. You are already won. So
Thank you.
have a very clear perspective for this. We have Andy, our president there. Okay, wait.
How'd you find us, Zachary?
Just on Meetup.
Oh, great. That is perfect.
Glad to be here.
Hello, Charlie.
Do you know Toastmaster before this?
No, not really. No.
Oh, okay. So welcome to Toastmaster.
It's
Yes.
all new to me. But I
So,
want to learn.
what's your main purpose of coming to the meeting today? You want to learn about public speaking. You want to
Yeah. I just want to learn about public speaking. I want to get a bit more confident speaking in front of people. Just
Oh, this is a perfect meeting to come to tonight. So Coen is a very experienced speaker. He's going to teach about stage presence. So his speech is about that tonight. So he's going to he taught us about how to craft a speech, and now he's going to teach us how to deliver the speech.
Oh, cool. Is there any guest participation?
Yes. There's table topics at the latest stage of the meeting. I might not be around, but the table topics, we invite guests to come and speak impromptu style. So they give you a topic, and then you just speak on that topic impromptu.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Yes. It's interesting. It teaches you to think on your feet.
Yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to it.
So we have some contestant winners coming in to basically prepare for the next stage of the contest. So some of the guys that are speaking tonight is preparing for the next stage of the contest itself. So Toastmaster have a contest for speaking, the prepare speech and other contests. So a few of the contestants that won is preparing for the next stage.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Thank you for joining us, especially for Meetup.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No. Okay, you see this?
Not working.
Can you see me, Shilpa? Say hello.
I changed the battery.
I can see very small. No, I can't see I can't see it, but I can see you guys pointing at it. I don't know what that is, but
I changed.
I can see Coen very, very clearly, but not the board.
It is no on. Can you hear Coen? Coen is coming in.
I can't hear Coen yet. Very low. I can't hear him that much.
But here only. Or the maximum.
I think you need to protect your voice.
Can you hear me?
Is low. The mic is better.
Can you hear me? Like this.
Oh, okay.
Wow, this is like super loud.
I think it's been above your lips.
Above my lips. Wow. How can I talk about voice projection with an iPhone? There's something I want to talk about. Yes. Okay. So. Okay. I am the presenter, so I'll leave it to rest. Take care of the meeting. So Eddie, you'll be the Zoom master, yes?
Yes. Until I drop off. But yes.
Right. You gotta pass to someone, yeah?
The co-host. Division K, the co-host. Podium also my co-host.
Wow. Hello. We're gonna do test. Okay. Oh, the Christmas hat.
So it's 7 o'clock.
Are we good to start?
Yes.
Good evening. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and a wonderful and warm welcome from Founders Toastmasters. Shall we wave at each other?
Hello.
We have our president on Zoom, and we have Vice President Education, Bharat here. We just declare the meeting is open.
Thank you.
So let's start with the mission of a Toastmasters Club. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning experience in which every member gets the opportunity to learn and develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You must be wondering, how do I speak all this? I've been an essay sergeant at arms for many years. In fact, I have by-hearted this. So before any ado, Toastmasters is a public speaking, communication and leadership platform. And we have great speakers here. We are yet to meet a lot of great speakers outside. So I would like to welcome our president, Eddie Wong, on Zoom online for the presidential address. Over to you, Eddie.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day Manju. So I want to welcome everybody. We are getting prepared for 2022. So good to great, like the book. Coen is a master presenter, speech crafter. He's going to present a lot, give us a lot of value today with his presentation. So I want to let everybody know that we got some exciting event coming up. We have event coming up from a LinkedIn professional, Steve Bruce. And we have world champion speaker coming up. And then we also have a workshop, Pitch 2.0. So we are a club for entrepreneurs. We are here to help everybody to prepare for their business and help them develop their public speaking skill. So I want to basically let everybody know that's guests to come and join us. If you like to join our club, let us know. We are here to help. We are here to help you develop your speaking skill and share your experience amongst each other. So thank you so much, Manju. Back to you.
Thank you, Eddie. Let's start this meeting with the theme, Good to Great. Our theme of the day is Good to Great. It's a festive season. It's Christmas and the New Year. What a buoyant time to celebrate and be together. So with this, normally we have a language evaluator. For this meeting, since we have a long meeting, we will skip a language evaluator. But I would like to give you a challenge to use the word buoyant, B-U-O-Y-A-N-T. Can anybody type on the chat box for me? B-U-O-Y-A-N-T. The word of the day is buoyant. It means joyful, cheerful. Use this word and try to make a sentence. So I just said, what a buoyant meeting. May I know if anybody would like to give a sentence with the word buoyant? Anybody online?
I'm feeling very buoyant today.
Thank you, Zachary. Anybody here? Yes, Bharat. I'm not sure if that was audible for online. Bharat just said our TMD has made everyone buoyant. I hope everyone stays buoyant till the end of the day. So keep using the word buoyant as you get a chance to speak. So today, what's special is we have an educational session from our distinguished Toastmaster Coen. And what's there apart from that? Toastmasters International conducts annual speech contest. Each speech lasts 5 to 7 minutes, and it is on 22nd of Jan, just one more month. So this contest by the area K4 of District 89 is on 22nd Jan, and 2 of our club members, Choi and Bharat, will be contesting in the contest. And for table topics, we have Karnakaran as well. So they will be giving their contest speeches after the educational workshop. So stay buckled up and ready for the show. So good to great. What is your vision for 2022? Is there anybody who has thought about it? What is your buoyant vision for 2022? Anybody would like to share? Coen? You have a mic ready, so it must be really easy for you to convey. That's really great. New Year is the time to meet families and stay united. So Coen says he is so buoyant because he has reunited with his family all the way back from Singapore. So just keep thinking, what is your buoyant vision for the year 2022 and this New Year and Christmas and the festive season and all that is coming up? So with this, I would like to invite our workshop speaker. He is a distinguished Toastmaster, and he has been to many Toastmaster clubs over 12 countries, I guess, if I'm not wrong. And he has been a Toastmaster for the past 16 years. And he is the club sponsor and the club mentor and whatnot. We are getting to see him here physically today. That's the most exciting part. In fact, I am meeting Coen after 2 years. And I'm really excited to listen to you personally. And Coen is going to present his masterpiece, The Art of the Speaker. The Art of the Speaker. Please put your hands together to welcome the distinguished Toastmaster, Coen Zeng.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm told. Yeah, how can I share my screen? How do I do that? Share screen, is that correct? Okay, share screen. Okay, do you all see this? Google slide? Okay, so, oh dear, the people here can read my notes. Oh dear. What do the people see? Can you see? Can you see the notes?
Yes, I see the notes.
Yeah, we can see the notes.
Oh dear, what am I supposed to do? Okay, you know what? I'll just go without the notes
We know you prepared anyway.
and see how this goes. Okay. Okay. All right. Welcome. Can you see? Oh. That's great. That great. And a little bit forward. A little bit forward. All for the camera. Something which is very weird before 2 years ago. Welcome guests. Thank you members and guests for being here physically. Toastmasters from other clubs. And of course our people online. Today, I'm going to share with you a workshop. This is the second workshop in the series. The first one was Craft Your Winning Speech. It is about writing compelling speeches. Some of the members have attended. If you the slide, it is also in the link, this slide. And so today is a continuation, right? Why is this important and why are we preparing this? We're preparing this because, especially for our club winners who have taken part in the club contest, international speech, evaluation speech, and the table topics. Now we want our members to shine, of course, in the area contest. Hopefully beat Centralists one day. Perhaps you are from another, also in Division K, G. Oh, in Division O. Okay, so we might face that when we reach the next, right? So the thing is this. Now I want to do this workshop because for the past 2 years, many of our workshops, or rather the contest, is done on Zoom, right? How boring is that? Now I'm sick and tired of like really looking at Zoom contests where you are just seeing like a certain view, like right here. And this way, you see, my hands are really out of the screen, right? I want our members to know the difference. There is a difference between speaking on stage, where there's something called what I call a stage presence. How do you create a stage presence so that you can create, you can project your emotions to the audience? How do you do that? Is it just standing in front and leaning in front of the camera? No, you have now a whole stage for you to make use of. That's very important. Many of our new Toastmasters, especially those who joined the past 2 years, perhaps only know or see people in front of a camera, right? And what you see online are, yes, people and world champions on stage, but you know, watching someone in front of you is very different from watching a video of someone on a stage, right? How does that one person affect you? Anyone been to motivation workshops before? Right? I'm sure you've seen like Anthony Robbins, firewalking. When you are there on stage, right, in front of the audience, the kind of atmosphere that is created by some of these best speakers in the world is just magical, I would like to say. It's profound. You take so much more, and you are in fact willing to pay so much more, a few thousand US dollars just to attend their workshops, right? And at the end, you get value out of it versus watching them on TV. So I want to impress upon our club winners that there is a lot more to delivering speeches than just to write some speech, memorize your speech. Okay, so today we're going to do that. Okay, so the agenda today is, yes, we just had an introduction. We are going to go through the prerequisite, which I talked about earlier. And today we're going to talk about the masterful delivery. Say this again. hand gestures, your eye contact, your voice, projecting your voice, and many other things, positioning, posture. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be for international speech. After which, we're going to apply some of that and into evaluation speech and then table topics. And after which, we're going to do a practice by some of our winners and guests, but as well, especially table topics. Okay. Okay, so here, this slide, I will make it available to anyone who asks from our PPE. There's a PDF version and there's also a Google version, which is the one I'm using. So this one, Craft Your Winning Speech, was a previous workshop that I did for our members and also for the division when I was division director last term, where we go through various techniques of how to write your speeches so that they are compelling. For example, how do you know this technique called GOALS? GOALS. Right. Do you know that? From which world champion of public speaking? The best friend. Press Vasile, who has the GOALS technique, right? Which talks about what is your goal, what is the obstacle that you face in your story, right? What are some of the adventures that you have trying to achieve this goal? What are some of the lessons learned to achieve success? This is one of the easiest to remember storytelling, which is very close to what I use in what I call the roller coaster speech writing, right? Where you bring the audience up, you bring the audience high, and then you bring them down. You make them cry. Show the success that you can, that anyone can achieve. So these are all very advanced techniques. In 2012, Brian Avery's technique of no action. How do they do it? So you can get this from this workshop, which is available here as well, right? So speech crafting, a lot of things to think about, right? How do you, things like anchoring, things like your message. Where do you put your message? Is it at the start? What kind of impact does your opening story needs to have? And what are the linking stories? What are the repeated phrases that you use? For example, in the 2014 World Champion, Untitled, one of the best speakers that I know, his speech is about, I see something. And he keeps putting this anchor. Later we're going to talk about it. He says, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. Right? And he does this multiple times. And every time he does this, it brings a smile to the audience, if not laughter. How does he do that? How does he prep his story so that when you reach that part, right, everyone smiles and he goes on to the next story. So there are multiple things that we can learn in speech crafting as well. You want to know more? So today, we are going to go one step further. Not just writing, because in the end, after you write, you need to deliver it. And deliver it standing multiple times in front of a camera, but in front of a crowd of people, whether it's 10, 100, 1,000, makes a very big difference. Okay. Now, further to the previous workshop, which I did not include, is this. You should be a storyteller, not someone who just said, I did this, I did that. Yesterday I had breakfast, today I had lunch, tomorrow I'm going to have dinner. That is not a story, okay? Although it is a chronological technique that you can use, or many people have used, right? Story is about something, yes, that you did, but was there a lesson? Was there something that you could link into the second story, to the next story? So tell stories, play with emotions. You're gonna see this a lot. Next one, which is smile. Okay, you will see the 2013 World Champion. I think it's Muhammad Katani. Okay, he smiled coming to the stage. He ran back to the job that they did. So did Dhananjaya. Most of these world champions, they are so confident by just running and smiling to the stage. Projects that kind of confidence you want to show to your audience. Okay, so some techniques, addresses and salutations after the opening story. Many people Toastmasters always start with, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Toastmasters, I am so and so. Okay, skip this. Right? One of the things about public speaking is about entertaining people. You want to entertain people. You want to share your story so that they, at the end, can either, right, bring a smile to their face or bring a tear to their eyes. And perhaps some lessons that they can bring home in the story. And of course, one of the techniques is ending context. Don't just stand there and saw some people. Okay, let's start. Okay, delivery. So what is delivery? I like to start with voice. It really is an irony that I have to wear a mic because maybe we don't have a mic to capture the sound for online audience. Is that in a room, like in a small room like this, you should be able to project your voice. And voice is very important. Okay. Now, which of you here are singers or those people online? Anyone singers? Apart from the singer, with all the echoes and make it easier, right? Okay. So all singers will know how to use the volume from, if I remember correctly, it's the diaphragm to project your voice, so that when you don't use the muscles on your throat. Now, I do that very often, which is why after talking for a day, I get sick the next day. It gets swollen. So that is not the right way to use the voice, because you'll be straining your voice. Now, volume is important because just if there's technical failures in a contest, it doesn't stop. Only when there is a timing problem with the timing device, then the whole contest will stop and you'll be given 30 seconds. Right? So you want to project your voice as far as possible to the last man in the last row in the right corner. Because in a contest, the judges can sit anywhere they want. But if they choose to sit behind, they want to see whether they can hear. It's very important. They will mark their balance based on that. Pitch. Now, has anyone wondered why most of the commercials are given by a male in a low, deep, and sexy voice? You notice that? Not really? Don't agree? Yeah? Like some of the important announcements are always done in a very low, deep voice, right? Why do you think, okay, so audience participation online as well. Why do you think that a lot of advertisers do that? Tell me. Trust. Low, deep voice projects a feeling of trust. I like that. What else? What else? Huh? Low, deep voice. Anyone? Online as well?
Authority.
Authority, yes, because I'm the king and you listen to me. Right? Credibility, Andrew, which is all correct. If you speak in a very high-pitched voice, no one, like a Mickey Mouse voice, no one really listens to it. Although in Japan, on the Shinkansen, they project this Mickey Mouse voice. If you in Japan, you will know this. Okay, so it projects very different. Like for example, public announcements are always this voice. Of course, depending on the product, you may use like a female and a higher pitch voice. But generally, that's the case. People tend to listen to a low baritone voice. Tone, how happy you are. Are you upbeat? Are you happy about your own speech? Are you satisfied with your own speech? Because if you are, then you feel that the speaker is happy with his own speech. Correct? And it portrays that the sense of confidence, right? Just to do this, at the end of it, when you write your next speech, right? Record your voice or ask someone else, right? Your listener to just close their eyes and you deliver your whole speech. Ask the audience to tell you, how did I do? What did you feel from your voice? All right? So like I said, if you smile, you project that quality as well. Rhythm and tempo. Now in your speech crafting, depending on the story, you want to vary how fast you speak, right? You can say something like, you have a story, oh, Little Johnny woke up. He looked at the time. Oh, he's late. He grabbed his shirt, put on his shoes, ran out with his bag, and ran to catch that bus. And he finally got it. You will see that in this short story, you will hasten your speed. And then towards the end, you will slow down. once you have achieved that goal. Okay. And there are other qualities like inflection, like for example, like the Singaporeans speak with a very flat Singlish, right? So we say, have you eaten breakfast? No, it's not breakfast. It's breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's always the same tone. Okay. So you don't tend to know what is the stress on the words. Resonance. I have a nasal voice. Can you hear that? I have a nasal voice. Very, very bad. I'm trying to fix it. I need to get a voice coach to help. Texture, thickness, it is strong. Okay, not just form. Okay? So together, the voice gives the feel of the speaker. Remember, try this. Speak, ask someone to close their eyes for the entirety of your speech, and ask them, how did you feel about my speech? Okay? And try that. Next. Okay, next, eye contact, which is important. Now, I think from the start to now, I have looked at everyone. Do you feel that? Do you feel I have looked at you at least for like once? Right? How did you feel when our eyes connected? Tell me, the audience here. You felt when I'm talking. There is a connection. Yes? All right? Now, what happens? Now, this is a small room of like about 10 people. But what if you have a hall, like 1,000 people, again, the last man and the last row and the last corner? How do you think? How can you project that eye contact? Do you find that the corner man will still feel that you're speaking to the person? The answer is yes. Okay. Now, some people scan the room like this, like Superman, just scan. Like this. But what you could do is, while you scan the room, you pick someone. You pick someone in that area, in your field of vision, and just look for that, I don't know, half a second or 1/10 of a second, and you just move on, and you feel, you just look. And as you speak, you must, what I call, acknowledge the audience. You acknowledge them of their presence. You tell them, you're telling them that even though you sit so far away, hey, I haven't forgotten my story. I'm still telling it to you, not just the people in front. So acknowledge the audience is very important. Look at them. Okay, even if you can't see them, you see like a bob, like far, far away, you still look at them. And when you want to impress your point, right, you look at one person, hold the gaze. So the boy cried in my arms. Daddy, I'll never do that again. Right? I looked at her for about maybe 2 to 3 seconds. But this small little, like this amount of time is enough to bring across that emotion, even though I didn't put so much emotion in that, is able to connect. Right? When you want to impress a point. Right? So for example, like Danajer, if I were him, and he has done it before, he looked at some of the people in front because he was looking. He said, I see something. He was looking at someone just right in front. I see something, but I don't know what it is. He's not looking at the first row. Okay, go watch his speech. It's inside here as well. Smile repeatedly. I say this. Smile is very important. Bring your tone, your positivity across. Now, matches the pauses in the speech. How do you do it? Okay, so again, I use Danajer's speech. He will look at someone. He will look at someone, and then he will say what he wants to say before he says it. Now, this will be the same. Later, we'll cover it. When you come to body language, you should always move or it's eye contact before you say it. So maybe I'll do it later. So matches the pause in the speech. So for example, if you pause after he said that, I see something, but I don't know what it is. Then you pause. And you look at the ground. You look at the ground. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Because he wants this message to sink in. He wants this message, and he looks at you. That means even after he has said, he wants you to sink it, like as if remember it. Remember it. I'm saying it like the second time, the third time. Okay? So it's pushing this message across. And you get sucked into it because in a moment of silence, you have nothing else to think about, but just before what he just said. So all these are very powerful techniques. Next. Always jump 2 times. Okay, hands. Hands. Very commonly asked questions, but the easiest to be solved. Hands. What do I do with my hands? Okay. Most first-time speakers will be like, oh, I don't know what to do with my hands. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Right? The best is, you hear this very often, you can search online, is if you don't know what to do, just put it aside. Okay. Now, most, like me, very animated speakers, my hands are always in front. Okay, sometimes I do this, sometimes I do this, and if I do this, I can also do this. Okay? For me, for at least my style of speaking, right? I'm using my hands a lot, speaking with my hands. Okay, so the hands show the degree of nervousness, because if you are nervous, for example, if you forgot your speech or you forgot the sequence of your speech, you'll be like, notice that you're trying to hide this. Did you see this? Oh, so like I'm preaching with my thumb. Maybe the people online can see, but I'm blocking it like that. So you can't really see it like the audience. But these are small little cues that shows that you are nervous. How to overcome nervousness? Best medicine is practice. Okay, so just now I didn't read the conclusion. The eye contact connects with the audience. Okay, next. Gesture. So the next question. Some people ask me, oh, okay, so you tell me to, okay, the hands. Why is gesture not about the hands? Because I want to impress upon all of you that gesture is about your whole body. Okay, your whole body. For example, how do you show if you want to say something, for example, very long? So let's do this. It's very long. Okay, it's very long. But if I do this, it's very long. Is there a difference? You feel it's longer? Right? Correct? For some reason, right? It's inexplicable. That's just the way our mind works. Okay? So your delivery is not just what you say. It is also about your body language. Now, those of you who have been public speaking for some time, if you search online, you will find that 93% of the message comes from your body language and only 7% from your voice, from what you say. No one can really remember what you say. Okay? People remember the front and the back, which is why in conclusion is very important, which is why messages are always at the end. Right? In between, oh, I remember that story. He said something about this, that. Which is why many world champions, they will repeat their anchors that will lead to the message. For example, Daniel J.S., I see something new, is not his message. His message is he close to someone, the relationship. Okay, but okay, yes, this anchor, I see something, I see something, I see something. Okay. So definite movements. What do I mean by definite movements? It means that everything in your speech should be planned. Okay, if you want to say, I don't know, maybe like choice speech. Okay, I lived in a tiny little village in nowhere, in no man's land, in the north, or I don't know where it is in Holland. Right? You can plan it. Like you can plan it with your hands, with even your facial expression, right? Because you really think it's very, very small. Does it make sense? You want to plan this. So for those who I think Press Marceline, you join his, you pay for his services, he will do a lot of things like this. Okay? Positioning, stage, movements, okay? Where do you stand, which is the next part, position. Okay, your movements must be definite, not small. Okay, whole body, not just hands. Now timing, just like voice. Okay, sorry, just like eye contact. You want to do it before you say it. Long time ago, in a land far, far away. You see the difference? Okay. Long time ago, in a land far, far away. What is the difference? No difference? Well, no, as in my movements and what I say. Anyone? You don't see a difference? Yeah. Okay, maybe I did that. That was unconscious. What I did was actually, I did this movement in the first example. I did it before I speak. The second time was after I speak. You try next time, especially a punchline. You want to give a punchline. And he dropped. Versus, and he dropped. Okay? So you can search online. There's many techniques. Eye contact, which is part of body language as well. Okay? In gestures, in body movement, you want to do it like a split second before you say it. Before you say it, split second. Split second. Yes, because you would have known your speech, you would have remembered your speech, right? So you know exactly what to do. Okay. Pace, I said it again. Body language, it is fast, it is slow. Mirror is like what I'm saying is mirror the emotions of the characters. And exaggeration is the same point about the volume of your speech. Volume of your speech. Okay, same thing. Far corner guy, 1,000 people. If you say this is long, and if you sit behind, the guy cannot see. But if you say this is long, it's long. Does it make sense? Because to the guy, this is small, right? It's a matter of perspective, it's relativity, right? So exaggeration is not about like I don't know. Some people think that it's about dancing and singing. Not really, but magnify. Okay? But definite, it has to be clear. Okay, so together, gesture provide coherence. But you understand coherence, right? Because what you say must be backed up by what you do. In fact, what you do must be backed up by what you say. Because if you plan it that way, you do it first, backed up by what you say. Because everything is planned. Coherence, so that it makes sense. I want to move, I don't know, I want to move up. Does it make sense, right? Okay, this is posture. Posture, basically the basic posture is upright. Now, some of people slouch consciously. You gotta fix that because this, what does this show you? What does this show you? Stiff, and then what else? Yeah, I'm bending, but what quality does this show? No confidence. What else? People on the Zoom. Yeah, you can add. Continue. Right? So basically no confidence, right? Even though I can be a very powerful speaker, my voice is very loud. But somehow just like that. It's very different. Okay? So the basic posture is straight, upright. Of course, you want to use gestures, body language. Locked. Yeah, straight. Okay. Right. Now, posture gives you not just you confidence, right? It gives the audience the confidence, which is the more important part, yes? Because someone there will be a judge, and people want to listen to confidence, right? Someone who's perhaps been there, done that, someone who has excelled in storytelling and want to share his story or her story. Okay, gives the audience the confidence to want to continue listening to you. Hey, where is the position? Okay, this one. Why is it position spelled wrong? It's right on my slide. All right, positioning. Positioning is about what I call spotlights. Okay, spotlights. So for example, now I'm standing in front of this lecture because of this computer. Okay, where you have your nose, for example, scientific presentation, company presentation. All right, where you have a mic, you speak to the mic, and there's a bunch of people in front of you. But if you can, those of you who've seen better, like scientific, like scientists presenting like a lot of data, okay, they will know their numbers very well. And the lectern is here, the guy or the lady may choose to walk across the stage. And this makes the technical presentation more fun, more lively, not just a bunch of some guy. I remember my professor in university, the guy was like 70 years old, he was just reading his notes, right? It is very boring, right? But someone who can walk on the stage, point to you, you see right there, the red spot, okay? That's where all the like the highest counts of the virus is. Okay. Now spotlights, for example, okay, so the Zoom people can't see me. I'm gonna do it for the. Okay, so okay. Bang! I open with a strong opening story. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, contest chair. Once upon a time, I grew up in this place called Neverland. I was happy. I was okay. So I was happy. I know. I do it that. Yeah, I was happy. I was this. I was that. Misfortune struck. I was struck by a car, and I was dead. Home back here. As I continue to grow up, I realized that there are many people who are like me, who are in the same position as me, right? Physically unwell, but who are way more positive than me, wallowing in pity, in sorrow, right? And I learned that from there, I could see a bright future. 20 years later, here I stand on the stage with a mind to recover from this misfortune. Yet I'm able to touch the lives of many people now. So you are still basically presenting like in a circle, like TED Talk, you have a red circle to stand on. But it is almost like as if there's a spotlight following you. And with that, you can give the illusion of time, space, right? Chronological events, characters, right? Characters. You can just turn around to mimic the people, right? And of course, using my voice, and even emotions. Okay? So think about it. And if you look at world champions, they will have a few spots to stand on. Okay? And even the number of steps are predetermined. Number of steps are predetermined so that they do not lose their momentum. Okay? So positioning lets the audience follow the story. Why is this important? Because remember, in the middle, no one remembers, correct? But if someone can follow the story so well, they might be able to remember part of the story. And if you think about it, if they can remember the front, your message at the back, and a little bit in the middle, and perhaps some of the anchors that you use, how powerful is that? Wow, I remember the speaker's speech. He was talking about blah. So follow the story. Now finally, together all this, your voice, your eye contact, your gestures, your posture, your positioning, create something very magical, what I call stage presence. Now, stage presence is not about the height like Anthony Robbins, a very tall person, right? But some good speakers, I don't know. The last I watched a video of him, Professor Stephen Hawking, during his address, and he can't really speak because he's sympathizing, right? He was in a wheelchair, and he was just swirling around, and he was showing his projector, about space and some theories that he has. He's trying to explain it in very simple terms. Okay, he has stage presence, maybe because of his faith. We don't know. But when he's there, I as the audience, I want to listen to every word that this person is saying. That is stage presence. Okay? But Stephen Hawking may not do one of the things that I mentioned here, but there's something about that person, just like Dhananjaya. I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. Right? That you want to continue to listen to this person. And that has value. A lot of value. Okay? Hold the attention of the audience for the next time. and someone remember GP, the 2003 world champion. He was the man that made me cry. In fact, made me start with Toastmasters for 16 years. Okay, the 2005 convention at my district invited him. He came on stage. He delivered his winning speech. His winning speech is, he was one person who contested in the world championship 3 times. Both times, so all 3 times he went to the finals, and it was only the last time he won. If he lost, he would have been heartbroken, right? It was his tale. So his third story, his final story was his tale, and the story was his relationship with his daughter. Through talking to his daughter, right, it inspired him to really want to move on. Otherwise, he would have lost that motivation. It's also online. It's speech. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of international speech. Do you have any questions? Any questions? Yes, Joy. Yes. Yes. Okay, Joy, I want to ask you a question. When you were growing up, you learned mathematics, yes? I'm not sure about your school. My school made me remember the formulas, right? Correct? Yeah. But when it comes to exam, do you try to remember the formula? Because by that time, most of it is in my brain already. And I just basically apply it, right? Some people. I think it's the same. If you have enough practice with the speech in your head, and you plan it, like your body movements, okay? So they come out natural. You have to do it many times. Many of the world champions that I know, if you talk to them, it's all public. They at least practice, go to 50 different clubs and above. They learn slightly different versions of their speech to get feedback. Should I tweak this? Should I tweak that? Okay. So that's what they do. So it's a matter of, yes, dedication. It might seem like a daunting task for especially younger Toastmasters like myself, here for just half a year. It takes practice, step by step. Okay, focus on one area of your speech that you want to improve, especially in your project. One step at a time. Don't rush your projects. Okay, any other questions? People online? People here, of course. Right? No questions? Okay. We'll give you evaluation, floor evaluation. Anyone online? Okay. Well. Okay. Yes. Okay. So. Yes. Standing with one leg. Should you stand with one leg? My general answer is no. Don't stand with one leg. Unless the story says you are standing on one leg. Does that make sense? I don't think so. You want to be animated with your hands. If you're not, you don't want to use it like very animated, just put it there. And if you want to use one hand, look at my other hand. It's okay. Well, there's not really good or bad. Okay. First, the audience need to see that you're comfortable with your hands. Remember, what does hand show you? About the speaker? Nervousness. That's the first thing they remember. And of course, whether your voice cracks. Okay, that's the second thing. All right, so stand straight. Okay, if you don't know what to do, put it just straight. And for me, I'm very animated, so I do this all the time. Right? So big, small,
If they're nervous, they're very tight. And it takes them at least a minute or two before they loosen up. Like I went for the Tum Chum meet and Andrew was there. He gave a beautiful speech, but the first minute or two, he was really tight, like he was very jerky, kind of like a bit robotic. And then before he became loose, he got into the story. Andrew was there. Yeah, Andrew was there. And beautiful speech. But the first few minutes was a minute or two. Just like that. Wasn't it, Andrew?
Sorry. Yes, it was. I was on mute.
Yes, it's a matter of practice and knowing, how you do it. Because like me, even like all successful speakers, sometimes you remember so much, but on the day or that 5 seconds before, your mind goes blank. Then some of the techniques to bring back, you talk about something else, then you will come back. And you talk to the audience for some mundane stuff, and then you will come back. Okay, so let's quickly move on to evaluation. So the first question that Karuna asked when I posted my this workshop, this slide, is how do you prepare an evaluation speech contest? Right? So my answer to you is this: evaluation speech is your speech. Therefore, all the speech crafting and all the stage delivery applies. Okay, including your team top. All of them apply. Okay, because why? You're standing in front of the stage. You are entertaining the crowd. You are telling a story. Okay. Now we'll quickly give you some mental models. Okay. So you have 5 minutes. You spend about 2 to 3 minutes drafting and 2 to 3 minutes rehearsing. Don't spend really 5 minutes of your time writing, because if you're the first speaker, you don't have time. You have to go straight up. Okay. So make it like practice enough to just pick 3 to 4 points that you want to talk about that person's whether it's delivery or voice or pick something to talk about. 3 to 4. Okay. Give more time for suggestions than compliments. Most people will give compliments. Oh, you're such a great speaker. You did this very well. And then the yellow light comes up or the green light comes up. When the green light comes up, meaning you have spent 2 minutes out of 3 minutes. You only have 1 minute to 1.5 minutes to say the important things. Okay. Provide more examples rather than generalities. So, for example, I really like your speech. Wow, and then you repeated the speech. Oh, you tell us about this small little boy, and then there was this person who saved him. No. Okay, give a clear example. For example, your story about saving the boy showed an act of bravery where no one would have stepped up to save the boy. Okay, it's the same thing, but you gave a very definite example to that point. And of course, it must have a summary because it is a requirement in the contest rules. Okay, and avoid cliches like "I look forward to your next speech" and so on and so forth. Okay, mental structures. This is what I call mental structures. You can prepare this beforehand before you go for a contest, right? So first, opening. As I wrote, first of all, build rapport with the speaker. How do you build rapport? So first of all, later you'll find out. When you come out from the room, ask the SAA, where is the speaker seated? Where is the speaker seated? Point to you, okay, the speaker is there. Then when you come in, the contest chair, say everything, okay, your name and your name, and then you straight away look at the person. That was a wonderful speech. Wow, I was really mesmerized by the speech. Okay, and build rapport with the speaker is you try not to repeat the speech. Don't say what the person has already said. Everyone heard the same thing. Why do you have to repeat it? It's a waste of time, right? But you could, for example, what I did in one of the US clubs, I was quite happy. I did evaluation. The speaker was telling a story about revolution in one of the small towns in America during the 1960s, something about some oppression stuff. And then he sang a song about some oppression stuff. And then immediately I remember Les Miserables, right? What's the song? Do you hear the people sing? So he started with a song, I started with a song. Does it make sense? And I started with a similar song about revolution, about bloodshed, right? About liberty, about freedom. So immediately that caught the attention of the speaker. Immediately that caught the attention of everyone in the room. All right? And I say, from my example, I say your story was as good as Les Miserables because you had this, and this element. Makes sense? And Les Miserables is something, this story is quite common, especially in Western cultures, right? So they know the story very well. I used it as like my anchor to tell them, okay, you did this and this very well. Then as a minute and a half, and I talked about some things that you can improve. So that is building rapport with the speaker, and therefore also building rapport with the audience. Now identify with the speaker, empathize with him. Okay, so I understand how you feel. I had a similar accident where I had to save like a kitty from a drain or something like that. Okay, observations. Now you point out some of your observations. Okay, usually the good things. Okay, but describe it, each one distinctly. Okay, very clearly, and give an example. Okay, so for example, if the speaker save a kitty, I'll say I'll save a kitty. Right, you clearly show your compassion when you save the kitty from the river, something like that. Does that make sense? Okay. Show it rather than say it. Many people, because of the lectern, you say, "Oh, you did very well. Wow, you know, wonderful. You know, I couldn't fault you. This is amazing. Wow, I look forward to it." What value does that give to the speaker? Right, to improve. Next. Oh. Okay, so suggestions. So suggestions are the points to improve. Okay, do not repeat the points already given before. So some people talk about eye contact or body language. Okay, then they say, oh, but you could improve your body language this way. Now, why is this important? Because to the audience and to the judge, it seems that you have given the same thing, but on the two different viewpoints. Why don't you give different things? Okay, so for example, body language is so many things about body language that we cover today. You might pick on, say, he has good body gestures, but he might like to work on his eye contact and voice. Right? Okay, use words to describe, different words to describe. And do not be ambitious. Do not say like 5, 6 different suggestions, because you don't have time. You just don't have time. 3 to 4 maximum. Evergreen areas are like, there are always things to pick on these topics. Structure, your structure is no good. You could have done this and that. Your emotion is very bland. You don't have, your facial expressions, body language. You could have exaggerated. Okay, your message. I did not understand what the message is about. Was it at the front or at the end? Okay, always the same. Okay, you can always prepare this. Fine. Summary, you must always provide a summary. So in summary, you say, okay, in summary, here are the things that I really enjoyed about your speech. Okay, here are the things that you can work on. Number 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. I really enjoy your speech. Contest chat. Okay, makes sense. So quit the cliche. Okay, so ask in advance where the speaker is seated. Direct your evaluation to the speaker, but of course do not neglect audience. Look at the person, also look at the group. Okay, do not speak from position of superiority. Wow, DTM, listen to me, huh? DTM, distinguished person. What I say has value. Put yourself as equals to the guy. But what if you are like a newbie evaluating a DTM? Is there any difference? Not really, because you are merely stating your observations. Yes, you're giving some suggestion, but from your point of view, it does not mean that you're a newbie, you're like 18 years old. You do not have something to provide. Perhaps the very old and experienced person does need to look at this viewpoint from another angle, right? And always be possible. Okay. Any questions on evaluation? Yes, Barat.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Andrew was with me evaluating contest at Toastmasters. The guest speaker was district champion last year, Chi.
Oh.
Jumping around everywhere. His speech, I am impossible. He made us go nuts. Everything was so good in the speech. And we did not know what suggestions. Of course, Andrew won the contest and I was the runner-up. But this is a very important question. Fortunately, we were able to find, he made some mistakes the other day, and we were able to give him some suggestions there. The challenge is what happens if we have a world-class champion who's doing everything good, and what do you do? What do you suggest?
Right. Thank you for the question. You pass it back to right. For very, very polished speakers, yes, it's very difficult to form, right? Okay. But remember, go back to one of my earlier slides. What feeling? What feeling? Emotions does the speech? Okay. So I'm not sure what his speech was about. Maybe about, I don't know, what did he talk about? What did he talk about?
Three stories about his life.
It's like
Impossible position.
where he was facing some difficulty and then he overcame and all that, right? Okay, right. So perhaps, maybe I'm the melancholy type. You know, I can't take such energy. You know, some people are very slow to warm up. You know, okay. You can say from your viewpoint that it was too fast to catch. I'm a bit old. I can't catch what you're saying. You're moving about so much, right? Which is why you don't see world champion running about. They have very, what I call, as used in my slide, definite movements. Maybe sometimes fast, like the 2013 Press Vasiliev, he was doing the crank. Okay, he was repairing his car or something, right? Okay, and that was the only part that was fast and slow. But otherwise, it's all very measured. Okay, remember, it is from an observation, your point of view, rather than you, the newbie, wow, world champion, wow, district champion, what can I say? No, always say something. Again, when you come from the viewpoint of emotions rather than the content of the speech, right? Different people, different audience, they empathize with you. Maybe some of the judges felt the same. How do you know? Correct? Okay. So always go in that direction. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. If you are always afraid, wow, this results, wow, world champion, then you will never, ever, you'll always be scared, right? And then you will show, how your hands will start to shake, right? Your voice will start to crack, right? So that's the first two things that. What else? Yes, Amy, our division director, by the way.
Concern is that many times when we do positive evaluation and also maybe the speaker that we focus on too much on the positive things, and that they couldn't really improve on, and then somehow after throughout time they would think that, is this really that good? Whether I can really be better, or is this I'm really deserve this kind of success? I think maybe how to take a balance on it, and also how to
Okay, so let me give you an analogy, right? If you, what's the most popular dish in Hong Kong? Hao fan. Wanton. Okay, let's use wanton. Let's use wanton. Okay. If you have wanton every day, how do you feel after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Right? What kind of nutrients does it give you for growth? You know, the different proteins and carbohydrates and all the different kinds, and right? It's the same. If you are a speaker, you know you're a good speaker, you're an okay speaker, maybe the champion speaker, okay, like the Donald Yee and Chi, right? Okay, you go to people's club, you give a speech, and everyone, wow, you know, because they know who you are, because you know people you introduce, right? Wow, Chi, a district champion, blah blah blah. Wow, so it changes people's perception. Wow, this guy is very good. Before the guy even starts to open the mouth, right? Yes, perception, right? That's why you always have an introduction. Wow, this guy. But the thing is this: if you're the speaker, after a year, 3 months, 6 months, you want to hear the same thing. You want to improve because if she, and I don't know, Donald, I think won a few times before. I'm sure they want to go to be a world champion of public speaking as well. If they listen to your evaluation, then they got nothing to improve. Which is why world champions go about at least 50 different clubs in different countries. Well, with Zoom now it's easier, but in the past they would, especially the US people, they will travel around the 50 states. They really travel, take time off, they will fly for the weekend, fly back, and then they will take notes. Okay, if you want to improve, you know, okay. And so if you're an evaluator of someone who is more established, right, give what you feel. Okay, what you feel, honest. Don't be afraid. Why the guy, district director, there's nothing to improve. Oh, okay, does make sense? All right. Okay, let's move on to the last part because we're running a little bit. Now, table topics again. Okay, again, it's still a speech. Everything applies. Okay, again, everything applies. The moment you stand on the stage, it's showtime. It's showtime. Okay, it's showtime because your job is to entertain the audience and also to show them your achievements. You know how you have prepared for your speech. Okay. Now, table topics is more like an international speech than evaluation speech. Because if you look at the judging criteria, it's more similar to the international speech, opening or the conclusion. Okay, so there are two ways to do it. Some people can do it magically. I can't. Till today, 6 years, I can't do it. Some people can immediately name, topic, name. Immediately they will jump to start their speech. I can't. I'll be like, I'll think for a bit. But there's a danger because there is a rule that says timing starts with your first verbal or non-verbal. Some people take it like, some timer take it like this, because I was thinking aloud, right? I mean, not aloud, but I was like looking at the top like this. It's as if I've started my speech. So you got to be careful. You got to factor in that time. Okay, I need to think for me. Okay, that's me. Okay, so organizing your thoughts on the fly. So some people do this. They open with an opening big bang story, and then just like the person who forgot his speech, all right, you say something which is similar to the topic, and then you try to remember or to bring back the techniques that you have learned over the years, how to put into the few stories in a 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, in a very short. Okay, or some people do it very slowly. The topic was how to improve our lives. They repeated the question. So they are thinking, yeah, they are thinking. That's another technique. Now, all the common speech structures apply. Okay, like chronological, event, spatial, there, today, tomorrow, characters, compare, contrast, again, so you can move with your positioning. Okay, problem, solution, cause, effect, journey. Journey is the best for international speech. Now, formulate your message as you develop your speech. The more difficult one is right at the end, when you know what you want to say, you know your message, then you develop your story. Now, that is how I write my speeches. I think about what my message is first. It's like writing my doctoral thesis. I write my conclusion first before I write my essay. Okay? Because that's the most important. The message is the most important. Okay, but this is thinking on the fly. This is really, really advanced. I can't do it. Now, I've also provided the judging criteria for international evaluation topics. So you can see the difference. Okay, so these are the most updated. And that's really it. Questions for table topics? Yes.
Go for a table topic contest. The topic, would they give you a piece of paper or just put it on the PowerPoint and show it?
Okay, so it really depends on the contest chair. I've been a contest chair, Mimi has been a contest chair before. The best is really write on a piece of paper. The MC or the contest chair will read it. Okay, the contest chair may pass that piece of paper to the person, so the person read, pass it back, then you start. Okay, topic. Okay, some contest chairs just stay at their lectern. The contestant standing by the side, where and then the guy will just read. So if you read it wrongly or you hear it, listen it wrong words, then you will give I wouldn't say wrong, you will give your impression of what you mean. So the best for at least district officers, we should really write it and give it to us. Okay, for fans. Questions? People like Olga, Andrew, and was it there was another gentleman who looks like the Matrix, the guy from the Matrix. Any questions? And 3.
Actually, Coen.
Yeah.
Hey, Coen. A quick question on the table topics and with the topic. If you were to get a topic, let's say self-improvement that you mentioned, how much flexibility do you have talking about that? Would it have to be specifically about self-improvement, or could you link into other related topics to deliver your table talk?
Okay, so if the topic is about self-improvement, like a general self-improvement topic, like, oh, what will you improve next year or something like that, right? For me, when I hear your message, this topic, I immediately think of a few stories of how I improved, right? My own personal stories, okay, how I improved. Okay, so I give maybe two stories about what I did before. And then from here, I will have another 2 stories of what I can do to for the next year. So this is a chronological before after technique. Okay, so I give 4 stories together. So in this case, self-improvement could be the first thing that came to my mind was not about public speaking. That was my family. My club members know me. I've been separated from my family for a very, very long time, like 1.5 years, 2 years. So all I want is just to reunite with my family. So I could self-improvement, like for example, still improvement, as in I need to learn how to communicate or live with my daughter, because she hasn't seen me for 1 year and she doesn't really talk much to me now, and I feel very sad. So I need to get to know her again, father and daughter, and build up this relationship. So that's my self-improvement. Does that make sense? So immediately think on personal stories. Yes. Any other questions?
What if you
read the topic and you talk about something else which is nothing connected to the story?
Which was what happened in our contest. I was the contest chair. I picked a very different one. What was the topic again? What was the saddest moment that made you cry or something like that? That you could walk away with. The only one who got it right was Eddie. So you misunderstood the question, but again, that's what you hear, that's what you know, and you say like an off-tangent story. Unfortunately, if the judges feel that the topic should be about A, you talk about B, then unlikely you'll be pleased.
Okay, it doesn't matter if you had a structure, you had a message.
Yeah, some people can negate. Like, do you think that wealth or health, for example? Some people will pick health, some people will pick wealth. Some people will totally disagree with these two and say, I pick relationship. Which is what you did, right? Yeah. Can you do that? Yes. Because that's still a little bit, you can say you relate because you still tie the topic together. Because your message was with relationship to wealth and health. There you go. Okay. Anything else? Yes. Questions from Paul, President of Central, by the way.
Thank you so much for that, Coen. You were very comprehensive in tying it all together. Do you have any tips on the process of practicing? So you talked about a lot of techniques, and I think it sort of ties in. Do you have steps in making sure that the practice that we do is meaningful practice?
Right. So what I do is, like some people, like some of the champions that I know, they just write 3 points and they can start talking. Yeah, for me, I can't. I have to write the whole speech and memorize the speech. Because some people cannot memorize. I have to memorize, otherwise I won't know, right? So what I do is I practice myself. Okay? I don't really feel myself because I know my voice sucks. I have a nasal voice, nasal sound. But what I do is I don't get like a member or to watch my video or see me. What I do is I make appointments with many different clubs. Okay, and say, please evaluate me on this point, just this point only. That's it. Okay, or 2 points. So not on the whole thing. Your evaluator, they can give you an evaluation of the whole speech. But if you have flaw evaluation, if you request for it, you can say, please feedback only on these 2 points. For example, did I look at all of it? How long did I look? Or something, my voice wasn't going deep. Okay. So definitely you want certain feedback, you tweak your speech a bit next. So you would have made like a few appointments already. 4 or 5, once a week, maybe, or twice a week. And your first draft of your speech, you do something, tweak a little bit, your story a bit. Okay. Or you could one of the meetings you can say, how does the 3 stories link together? How was my connection? Was it good? Did you follow? Did you follow? What made you remember the sequence of the speech? Right? So I say with the body gesture and the positioning, right? Okay. Was that useful? All right. Precise in what kind of feedback? Yes. Thank you. Last question.
I don't. He's asked a big question for me because.
Right. Okay, thank you so much for being the nice audience in front of me and also online. I would have wished for more interaction, especially on Zoom. I really prefer like a physical meeting. But I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, come see me. I would love to take you all the way to this conference. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, Chip. Thank you, Coen, and thank you, everybody. Hope you had a great knowledge session on the art of the speaker. In short, I would say buoyant, brilliant, and for the betterment. So this is what I thought about Coen's talk, because learning to become a speaker, the journey never ends. There is always more and more to make it better. So what do you think about, of course, we had a lot of knowledge and value addition. We learned, we are still thinking on how we can make it better next time. The speech which Coen presented was also part of one of his project, right? 25 to 30 minutes. If Coen wants to get feedback, you can take a moment to write your feedback or your questions on the chat box. He'll be able to read it at the end of the meeting, right? Yeah, or you can send an email to coendtm@gmail.com. I think Coen prefers that communication better. All right. So with that, we proceed. Yes, Choi, you have a question? Yes. So today our the session will be timed by Stella, and every speech is timed. Stella, how are we at in the perspective of time? How good are we? Yes, so we are running a bit late. We have 2 prepared speakers ready to give their speeches. Before that, I want you to take a moment and think. What is your buoyant, the most optimistic vision for 2022? We will discuss that later, but take a moment and glance through that future. What is that most optimistic vision for 2022? What is that first thought coming to your mind? Everyone online, probably you might have had a spark in your mind. So we'll just park it there and we'll move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is one of the co-sponsor or founders, and his work has been very instrumental for the founding of founders and bringing all of us together. He's presenting a project on the title Darts. His project is strategic speaking level 4. His project is motivational speech level 4, and he will be evaluated by Karnakaran. Karnakaran, do you have any objectives of the speech? Yes. So Karnakaran will be reading out the objectives during his evaluation for the time being. So please welcome Bharat for the title Darts. Please put your hands together to welcome Bharat.
Mic testing. Hello, testing. Can you hear me? Online audience, can you hear me? Okay, good. So before I start, I have a small request. Can you hear me? This option. Oh, okay. So, can someone spotlight me? This was my contest speech for Toastmasters, and this is my area contest speech. I would request everyone to give me an evaluation before I start.
Understand Bharat. Title Darts. Darts, understand Bharat.
2012. My wife, Angela, and two daughters, Ankita and Asta. We are walking on Harbour City. My, what a wonderful, buoyant atmosphere here. Christmas trees all around, hanging on them. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I felt grateful. I was grateful just to be there. As we moved together hand in hand, Santa on the podium distributing lovely gifts. Walking along the street, reaching Santa is going to be very difficult. As we moved through the sea of humanity, lost all around, I got a pull on my shirt. Pockets. Someone is taking my pockets. Let me catch it. Oh, Miss Asta. Daddy, cannot you see this? Yes. With this dark gift, that lovely gift. I want to get it and hug it. Please win the dart for me. Anyone won a gift playing darts before? Not me. Not me. Asta, you're going to be a teen. Why do you want to embarrass me? I can be your good Santa and buy it from Toy R Us. Daddy, please. Please, Daddy. Or please give me like a cupid. To refuse your child when she speaks so gently. So I am there in the line, playing the dart game, trying to win the dart. Young girl in front of me, playing before me. And here's a turn. Bang! Bullseye! She won it. First try. She's ecstatic. Ecstatic. Her family is in a loud celebration. The louder the celebration, the more nervous I become. What will happen to me? Okay, my turn. Miss. Daddy, try again. Miss again. Ladies and gentlemen, cheer me up. Third time. 4, 5. Next. The store owner tells me, go away, there's a long queue behind you. Very dejected. I cannot. Daddy, even you can't pick the dartboard, forget getting the bullseye. We are all so disappointed. Fortunately, my wife cheers up everyone. Look, there's a chocolate kiosk there, and your favorite chocolates are there. We all are buoyant again and move to the chocolate kiosk, choosing our chocolates. Suddenly, there's another pull. Again, no pickpockets. This time, it is the young girl pulling Asta's sweater. And she has a wonderful gift in her hand. With her outstretched hand, she says, Didi, please take this gift. I saw how you wanted it, and your dad could not win for it. My daughter said, hugged her, said, you are so sweet. I really wanted to hug this. And now I'm filled with joy after hugging this. Can I give it back to you? It belongs to you. You have won it. Your family was so happy to see you win this. And this, after returns this. My eyes are moist. I can see a smile on my white face. There was a dart of tears rolling down. These young girls taught her the real joy of the gift is not in receiving it. Let us step back and think, what is it we can do? Give more and give more. I will quote Khalil Gibran, who said, there are those who give whether
oh, we're divided in hot items and cold items. While the Dutch people blend everything and eat everything and boil vegetables for 45 minutes and think that is healthy. And also the way I look, my hair, my skin, and also the shape of my eyes. And my closet would remind me what the shape is of my eyes. So another difference is that Dutch people wear shoes in the house. That's right. The shoes they walk on the street, they go straight into the house up until they're going to bed at night because they shower in the morning, unlike most Asians who shower in the evening. So yeah, I didn't have that because I grew up in a Chinese family. So my mother would give me the task to tell our visitors who came to our house to take off their shoes. Awkward moments, especially when it's a repairman. Big guy, big tools. Sorry, but you have to take your shoes off. Awkward moment. So other things that are uncomfortable were, for example, if they would speak very loudly Chinese to me, my parents, and my Dutch friends would look at me, that's a language I've never heard, which is probably true. Or we would bump into each other in the restaurant of my parents, and there I felt also very confronted, being Chinese, and they weren't. But there were also moments that I felt embarrassed for them. An example is Sinterklaas. It's a big kids festivity once a year, very comparable with Santa Claus. But it's on the 5th of December. And yeah, kids get gifts from an old man coming from Spain by boat with a white horse. And the gifts will also go through the chimney. And you would put your shoe, and then the gift would land in the shoe. So instead of cookies with milk for Santa Claus, you would give something to the horse to eat. So I would put a carrot in my shoe, but my parents didn't know that they had to take the carrot out, pretend that the horse had eaten them. So the next morning I would find my carrot dried out still in the shoe. Okay, so, but actually not too bad because I knew the truth behind the story. And the reason is that Sinterklaas has helpers, and helpers are dressed up, they have black faces, red, big lips, golden earrings, and they act very silly. They speak Dutch in a silly way. The first time I encountered it, I was quite young, together with my brother. We were confronted with this person, completely black painted. So we started crying. And my mother wanted to calm us down. She said, no, don't worry, it's fake. It's just people dressing up. It's just a teacher from the other classroom. So then we, of course, understood, unlike many other kids around us, that, yeah, it's actually dressing up. But then the next feeling was that I felt very emotional because I could imagine that this dressing up was very hurtful for some people in the society. Fast forwarding 40 years later, and Dutch society is still divided by it. It was earlier this month, and there were demonstrations, riots, emotions, people throwing eggs to each other about this. Luckily, it is a little bit better now, and you will see rainbow Pete's, or the Pete with a little bit of dirty face. So there is some improvement here. So during my growing up, there were many moments that I would just hope that the earth would open up and swallow me up. I didn't want to deal with this awkwardness. But later I looked back and I realized it is actually a blessing to grow up between cultures. And every awkward moment is a diamond in the rough, because that's the moment that you understand someone else without being that other person. I think all of you can relate to that because you left your home country, or you're married to someone from another culture, or your children are growing up in a culture that is not the same as you. So yeah, next time that you're having an awkward moment, maybe that's a diamond in the rough too. Contest chair.
Thank you, Joy. So coming up next, I would like to request everyone to spare a minute and put in your comments, your feedback for Joy and Bharat. So what we can do is you can send a message to them. Is it WhatsApp? Or you can just write it in a piece of paper and hand it over to them. All right? A minute. So as you write down your comments, may I ask the timer, is it okay we skip the table topic session to catch up on the time? Yes. So, as we proceed, we will look at the evaluation for Bharat and Joy. And are we doing a floor evaluation? Okay. All right. So we will continue with the evaluation session and then go ahead, and if we have time, we'll have the table topic session. So please remember to hand over your comments to Joy and Bharat. It will be really valuable for them to go ahead with their contest speeches for the area contest. So coming up next is our evaluation. So as we are talking about the vision for 2022, the buoyant, cheerful, the most optimistic vision, you have already created that spark in you, I assume. Have you? How many of you have created that vision, at least thought about it? How many of you have put in some numbers around it? I think somebody has put in some 1 billion number. So just if you have not yet, we still have the time. So think about it as we go ahead. I wish a couple of you would share that vision with us. And going ahead, we have the evaluation. So I would like to request the evaluator for Bharat, Karunakaran, to give out your specific evaluation for Bharat. You can come on stage, Karunakaran. So Karunakaran, are you going for the contest as evaluator too? Yes. So Karunakaran is also testing out his evaluation skills. He is also a contestant for the speech contest, for the area contest. So as he is getting ready with the mic, I wish Karunakaran, you would be able to use all the evaluation skills, the body language, voice. All the best to you. So Karunakaran, you are evaluating Bharat's speech titled Darts.
Coen told us about managing the stage, being stage present. We saw Bharat was using the stage, not looking at the people, but also looking at the dartboard. It was very interesting. Toastmasters, friends, I'm Karunakaran. And today I'm evaluating Bharat, who's on his project about how he works with his team, how he motivated the team. And his team was his family, which he took on his trip to the area in Hong Kong. And he spoke to us about it. What I liked about Bharat's speech is that he made people laugh. You know, he had people laughing. There was humor. There was humor in the speech. And there was a lot of body language. He used his body, you know, motion, facial expressions, And his voice variety was also interesting. He was, initially it was slow and soft, and then he was imitating his child with a squeaky voice, and it was interesting. He had his vocal variety. And if we need to see how Bharat can improve, I've found there is one point which is eye contact. You're talking, you need to have eye contact. And what I observed was Bharat did look around the audience, but for most part of his speech, he was stuck at one corner. It was almost as if he was looking at Joy for most of his speech, while it was clear that he was stuck at that point. As Toastmasters and public speakers, we know eye contact is important. And the primary reason we do eye contact is to have that connection with the person. And how long do you connect? Is it 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 seconds? How long do you connect? So when you connect to a person, you connect is to a thought. The thought, connect and move away and look at the other person and connect. Speak a thought and move away. So you connect is a thought time, a time that a thought takes. So in conclusion, if you were to look at Bharat's speech, he had good body language, he had good vocal variety, and he had good stage presence. For Bharat to improve, the suggestions I could give is that connection with the audience. Eye contact is something that you need to improve on. Second is, do not try any lengthy proverbs which you're not sure about. Avoid it, because it came out at the conclusion, actually broke your entire conclusion. And I took away is that you did do a good job, because just that conclusion, while your opening was great, your body was good, at the conclusion you had this problem. This is the feedback I would give you. I wish you all the best. Contestant. Thank you.
This let's give for evaluation to Bharat, and then for evaluation to okay. So that Bharat take the stage.
Yes. So now we have the floor evaluation, and I'll be facilitating that. So, Karnagran, if you can pass on the mic to each evaluator. So, I guess, who would like to give your short feedback for evaluation for Bharat?
Next is my evaluation.
Yes, Paul.
Sorry, but I wrote it to your email. I'll say it again. I liked the pace in which you delivered it. It was very easy to digest. I think what you can try to, apart from eye contact, is reduce the power, because you already are a very strong, you have a very strong way of delivering. If you bring it back a little bit, I think you'll find that it will come across more authentic. I think the pace you deliver it and the power makes it feel more dramatized. But if you soften it a little bit, I think you'll find you're more effective. Otherwise, problem.
Yes, Coen. Coen.
Right. So Bharat, I felt that your story was really much improved from the version that you spoke to me. Now I felt that you could tweak the story a bit. I'm not sure whether this is true and how this will come out, but I felt that if you say that it was your daughter who gave the prize to that little girl who did not win, and you as a parent feeling way more proud of your child than the family of that child. So I felt that you could bring much more stronger emotions if you tweak the story now. Thank you.
Yeah, my comment is actually also very much in extent to what Paul and Coen are saying. I always feel that you really like to, you have a lot of emotions and you feel a lot by everything that you experience, and you want to also bring that across. But it sometimes doesn't completely match the storyline. So maybe you should find more dramatic stories to fit your emotions.
I think Amy.
Yes, I personally quite like your story, but I personally suggest that maybe you can add more layer, because you have a lot of energy, but when you try to exert it, then for example, when you're talking about you are just shifting the point, and then you tried it 1, 2, but I want some more layers, like 1, 2, and then after you try to interact with audience, I think it's really good. And then how you showed up your energies, you have been energized, and then you try really hard, and then you add more the length of your gestures or your length of your voice. I think it is also really important for you to dramatize your whole story. And then another point is that when you do your eye contact, I think in your beginnings, you always look at the audience. I think it's good, but you are trying to building up your story. So I think maybe you can try to imagine like a place or a space for the audience, and then go into your story. And then you're not only you doesn't really need to look at the audience. Maybe you can look aside and then just bring us into that space.
Yes, I would request Coen to summarize all the points.
Not summarize, just.
Oh, okay, just add one more
They're all
point.
very valid points. So emotions, right? So I like what Amy said. You could put in more time in improving your body language. The first time you try, describe how that made you feel. There was maybe one kind of visual expression. The second time, so your disappointment with yourself got deeper and deeper and deeper. And by the 4th time, 5th time, you still couldn't get it. You can describe that disappointment with yourself because you just couldn't give it to your daughter. So that is one way you can play with emotions, like what Amy said. Bring the audience into space, an imaginary space where they could empathize with you all too. Okay, thank you very much. That was very great floor evaluation. I really love floor evaluation. Can we have Karuna on stage, and let's give him some evaluation for his evaluation.
So that's Bharat there for evaluation for the evaluator Karunakaran.
One thing very sure. First time you start with something to build trust with everyone now. The trust has not only with the audience, with the speaker also. So maybe the eye contact can be there itself. That is the whole thing was that you really wanted to help me out to go to the next level. How I can do that. This is very important. This trust is already there. Have eye contact with the speaker there first time also. So I will give you this one point to take away, and give the others to add on.
So I felt that your suggestion, you spent much more time giving what you did well, and you only gave what I understood only 2 points. First, the eye contact. Second was the one about the reading that accent, that quotation, which you did not really talk about in the main part of your speech. You brought it in as a conclusion. It is almost as if it's like the second thought. So spend more time in giving suggestion, which is exactly what I said in my workshop, that you sort of gloss over some points. For example, you had good eye contact, you have good body language. Would you have done it better by saying, you have great body language by doing this? And you connected with Choi, even though you wanted to say that he only kept looking at Choi and not the rest of it. So show it rather than just say it. That's my suggestion.
Kona, I like your style. It's very methodical and quite corporate. I think maybe a stretch target, if you will. Bharat's speech was very emotive. It was very passionate. I think if you matched with a similar, softer style, I think from an audience perspective, it would be better received. Just as a style or maybe another element of your evaluation style. Otherwise, I enjoyed the way you did.
Anybody online would like to give feedback for Bharat and Karunakaran?
is not many people talking.
Hey, go ahead.
I think, yes, yes, Suresh, would you like to?
That was I don't know. This is my first time here in this event. I'm actually trying to figure out how everything is working. So, but looking at the feedback that you gave, that was exactly what I was thinking as well regarding that. And yeah. No more? Okay,
All
let's
right,
start with
I
that.
think we are done with the flow evaluation of Bharat and Nagaran. Choice speech is evaluated. Who has done the specific evaluation? Bharat has done the specific evaluation.
No. Oh, sorry.
Yes, choice evaluation. So Bharat, can you give the evaluation for choice? Can come over here.
Sorry. Is it audible? No, it's not audible. Joy. I wish I had your calm voice. The way you speak and funny. I was into your story. I've listened to the story for the third time. And every time I find more. Very well flow, starting from top 6 to the boots. Every awkward moment was well captured. You are already a contest winner. I'm going to the area of now. Although you are a newbie at Toastmasters, you don't look like a newbie. Be a contest winner. In the class. So to challenge you, I have few points which I noted. Free your hands. You had a mic in your hand and it limited you there and then. Secondly, not only it restricted your hand gestures, your body movement, your stage, everything froze just because you were focusing on remembering your speech and listening. The mic. One very good suggestion would be to cut those awkward moments. You had around 7 or 8 awkward moments. Take 1 or 2. Give them emotions. The boot, the tool man, the handyman. That story in itself is a big story, which you can relate with ovations in 3 minutes. Putting 7 stretches you for time. Stretches you to reach to your end message about living in different cultures. Another thing you related to the audience was very clear about we being expats. Did we not experience, all of us? At least I did. I was with you when my daughters came with me to Hong Kong and finding these awkward moments. As a parent, I was really having 2 thoughts that did I do right? You were born there, so there's no choice for you. For us, you really brought us back into the story. All of us did. For my suggestions to you, as already I said, move the mic and cut the points for your story. And then it will be giving a more impact for you to have a powerful ending for what the audience is taking. Like your message was very clear. You are blessed to be in different cultures, knowing these awkward moments at your start. So they can also relate. Summing up, very clear, good voice, vocal variety, use that well, good story, make it shorter for the content and expand it. Number 3 is use the stage. And then again, you will have the contest winning, and wish you all the best. Contest chair.
We have Choi on the stage. Or floor evaluation. Okay, we have floor evaluation now for Choi. Any feedback from the floor? Okay, I shall start. Yes, the mic was a big problem. Just realize that because it's really restricted not just your hands, but also the body gesture, as I mentioned. Also, the stories, as Bharat mentioned, you could dramatize each one. You gave quite a number of stories, for example, the Santa Claus or something like that, your family restaurant, your parents, what else? Your classmates making fun of you, the handyman. Okay, so dramatize each one of them and then make it clear cut. So you were just saying like a flow, so it was a bit monotonous. And your conclusion was a bit abrupt. We didn't know, like perhaps you could, the diamond in the rough. Lead up to your message. Say your message, with another story, a short one. Ask the audience, ladies and gentlemen, what about you? To face such awkward moments. But what I would like about your speech was you had anchors, right? Awkward moments. So every time you say something, I think after it, okay, so that was awkward moment, awkward moment, awkward moment. So that could clearly demarcate the difference. So I really like it. Thank you.
I have a suggestion, Joy. You said about awkward moment, and there is a feeling associated to it, throughout from childhood to as you were growing up. What I would suggest is, as you narrate your story towards second half, you could twist it and say how that awkward moments brought glory to your journey. That will be a great good twist into. Audience would love to listen. Okay, what that happened to you, it happened to me. What happened at the end? Because we are in a world where everyone finds awkward. I mean, awkward is not anymore awkward. Everyone faces the same thing. We are in a multicultural, cosmopolitan, whatever you call world now. So how that awkward moment twisted glory to you and even the world itself. We are talking about diversity in culture. Corporate. So that will be your punch point, is what I feel. Nail it there if you feel like that.
Yeah, sorry, I like the first time you spoke. The second time I'm hearing it. I like the way you're doing it. The Santa Claus and Black. That's a very strong topic, right? And I don't know. You talk about your family, awkwardness in your family, and suddenly you have this huge emotional topic you've dumped. It's like a grenade in there. I don't know if it's a good strategy to use it or not. I really don't know. Because it's a topic by itself. That thing when you spoke about your family, your awkwardness, that itself had, like Bharat was saying, there's a lot of beautiful stories there. It's the plumber, things like that, which could have. It could have been a personal story, and suddenly it becomes a social story. And I'm like, where are we, right? I don't know. I think Coen, that's how I sensed, it's kind of like, it's lovely. It's lovely, both. Then it's kind of like, it's two different tracks here. That's what I felt. Yeah.
For this one, the world champion speech. He delivered the same speech. And it was very important. Out of the news, he comes with this mind-boggling Indian wedding. The story is Indian wedding. He's talking about the wedding, and in the end, he talks about different culture. So it's almost there. It is a contest. So answering you, it is a contest-winning tactic to bring that bang in the end, something for the audience. This is what everyone likes. Real life example in this
So that was wonderful. Applause to everybody for that wonderful story evaluation. We had learning, we had education, and we have practiced it. How amazing it is, isn't it? So can we have the timers report of right now we are at 9 p.m. Okay. So you're also a contestant for evaluation. So anybody for Bharat's, if you can remember the all.
So when you did the first half, sorry, maybe the first 40 seconds of the evaluation, that same energy, if you apply it to your prepared speech, I think is the right. Because I noticed as you go through, you feel more passion, there's more power to it. I think in the context of your speech, if you turn it down, it comes across much more authentic. Just otherwise.
Thank you, Bara. I really feel that you want to help me to get better, even though we're kind of like competitors. So yeah, thank you very much for your feedback is coming from your heart.
I want to add a little more because I think there's a really big contrast between your prepared speech and your evaluation. I think one of the reasons is that when you do the evaluation, you try to memorize the speech that immediately right on your note, but it's used up some of your energy, and then you didn't put a lot of attention, like how to control your energy when you do the evaluation part. So I think I like to pour. I think, but a little bit different is that I think your energy is quite uncontrollable when you do evaluation because you are not attentive how to use it. So I think you better pay more attention how to use it.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. So
She said uncontrollable.
Yes. Same for Joy as well. The one about off track. So, for example, Joy gave the story about something about the riots, which because if none of us follow the news, we would not know what's happening. So it is irrelevant to the audience. You knowing Troy and say this is your third speech, and it's unnecessary. Just go straight for the evaluation because the audience and the judges will not.
Okay, so we are good with the evaluations, floor evaluation. So as our timer brings together a timer's report for our betterment, of course. Do you know that we have a division officer here? Our division director, Amy. Amy, would you like to come over stage and tell us about how you feel about this hybrid meeting, how we are doing, what can we do more? Yes, we can't miss that.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate you here. And then I feel like this is a really high quality meeting. Like after a while, I joined the last meeting, and then but my personal suggestion is that if you guys can really promote your meeting like this kind of workshop, because I feel like this workshop need more people to know, and then they also need to learn as well because outside at the club there's also a lot of people they are like facing problem like how to be a better speakers, and also they are really confused and like why just my question like why there's always positive evaluation but not more. So I really appreciate the meeting here, and then I feel like there's a lot of potential speakers here and leader division directors, and I really hopefully that I could like do more like in the coming terms as well continuously. And then thank you so much for this, and back to you.
Okay, so we have the division director here. Why not we take this opportunity to give out the ribbons for the speech contest winners. So we can take some pictures too with the celebrity. So we will go ahead with the speech contest. First place. So we had the speech contest online. So right now this is the first meeting after our speech contest where we could meet each other. So Emmy, you can speak so that so the second one, evaluation contest. Second place winner of international speech contest goes to Bharat.
All right.
And the international speech contest third place winner, Karunakaran. And now the evaluation contest winner, the first place winner is again Bharat. The second place winner of evaluation contest goes to Eddie. And the third place winner was again Karnagaran. Will be keeping lot of ribbons and trophies now. The history is that Karnagaran history is that the moment you start collecting ribbons and trophies, kids also will follow the track. It's an old saying in Toastmasters.
And now
The table topics first place winner is Karnagaran again. The second place winner for table topics, Bharat. And Bharat has completed 3 levels in this year. So level 1, level 2, that is a Triple Crown Award, isn't it? Yeah, that's a Triple Crown Award. Please give a big round of applause to Bharat. Karnagaran has achieved the level 1 pathways completion. And Eddie has also completed. So you would just take a picture just for Eddie, as giving to Eddie. Give this. Eddie's one more thing, right? Eddie has 2 ribbons. Right? That's the right ribbon, right? Maybe. You had a big task to do. Yeah. So we had some guests online. I think they have left the meeting. Don't have anyone left. May I have the guests to give a word? How do you like the whole Toastmasters education program? May I request your Suresh? So this is your first time with Toastmasters?
Yeah, this is my very first time. I was just trying to grasp what and so yeah, like I said, like my is trying to, think, but I still don't have any conclusion to be honest.
All right. I hope you can attend few more meetings and then figure out more about Toastmasters.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't made any conclusion yet because I'm still figuring out in my head. This is very new to me. But the thing is, like, I want to improve my, my skill of public speaking. So I think, like, I give them.
That could be your vision for 2022. Join founders and.
You can come for a few meetings as a guest. Like Stella is not a member, she's a guest, and she's already taking up roles. So she's also like you. She wants to see what it is good or not. So you come for a few meetings. Spend about 2 months, and then step in.
I will tell you one thing which we did not do today was our counter grammarian, because we had a special meeting today for a workshop. Otherwise, we have table topics and it's a completely different format. So what I can notice today, he was on the stage the other day when I met him first time, and he was a panelist. And today you have a lot of hours, but the other day you were so fluent because you had practiced it.
Oh yeah, that's because, like I said, this is a completely new environment to me, and like for me, I'm a very slow learner,
So one suggestion is what Toastmasters is doing. Like you were on stage, prepared on a panelist. Every day in our life we should be same.
Right.
So this takes to the life outside. All situations are new.
Right.
We are unprepared for everything. And this is what Toastmasters is preparing us for.
Yeah, that's a very convincing statement. Yeah.
So, Paul, what do you think about this meeting? Of course, we had a special workshop and a floor evaluation, a detailed meeting. However, how do you think the way forward for founders and centralers? Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Bharat, for the invitation to come speak at Founders Toastmasters. So we've agreed to do a joint event in early January together. And, Bharat, and the concept behind Founders is a very compelling one, and actually one that's extremely interesting to people at Centraler. Those of you who don't know, Centraler are in City Hall in Central. And I will say it's probably one of the biggest gifts that we have as a club. We have a lot of people come through from all walks of life, and many of them are already actually themselves quite accomplished. So I won't take any credit for it. We started in 1999. But the point with Founders is that the people that you attract are squarely the people that we'd love to work more with together. I think Bharat is probably, I think there would be less than 5 Toastmasters in all of the 135 that master the hybrid format to the degree that you have. And that is very valuable expertise to lots of clubs, not only from a club context, but more importantly, from a corporate event, whether it be for events or be for education. To master that hybrid format is a real skill. And I'm very fortunate to have you share that with us in early January, but also I'd be excited to see you share it with the wider Toastmasters community. Otherwise, Coen, thank you so much for that workshop. I think you delivered a lot of value in a very short period of time. So hopefully there'll be people that follow up with you afterwards and inquire more. This is a very, very nice venue. So kudos for securing it. And yeah, thank you for having me.
So thank you. So one last tip I have for you is we have thought together about the vision for 2022. You have placed some numbers, I assume. We have shared a lot of other things. The third tip I have is share your vision with someone. Go and share with at least 10 people, because that's how you could magnify your vision, magnify the word I got from Coen. And because when you share, you attract more knowledge and you attract more like-minded people. So share your vision and go from good to great. I welcome. On behalf of founders, Karunakaran is sponsoring 2 gifts for Emmy and Paul, the president of Central and Toastmasters. For the closing remark.
Hello. So, yes, thank you so much, everyone, especially our guest. I got a lot of credit from Paul today for the venue. Of course, I have been struggling with hybrid for a very, very long time until I met this two gentlemen here, Karunakaran, who is running a Hong Kong oneness community together with Stella, his wife, and the chairman for this Hong Kong oneness community. And they're so, this venue is not available for public. We are blessed to be with them. We are blessed to have them with us. Thank you so much. So that is one. So one thing taken care of. I know Karuna has seen me struggling on the desk, and we did, in fact, in the district, our was the first hybrid event, and we are fortunate because the district director that time gave us district resources to do a hybrid event. Prince Wong was there. He was supposed to come here today. He is the one who was doing the COT training after that. So, and he brought his crew there, and we did and the video is still available by Tung Chung Toastmasters. One of the best moments I ever had. So that brought me to the thought and putting numbers, thinking my vision for the club as club sponsor, as starter member. I really look forward to members like Suresh joining us. And with one simple vision, when I came into this club 2 years, 5 months before, I did not know my life would change. I am changed, truly changed. I was so scared. Even I'm standing here comfortably speaking whatever I'm speaking. I know what I'm doing wrong today just because there are fellow Toastmasters putting a hand behind me to take me together with them. Coen, Anisa, Ankita, Jim, so many people have been instrumental in writing this story for me. I wrote it myself, but I was always guided by everyone is telling me, look, you're doing that, this is wrong, this is wrong. You can improve here further, like today also. And my vision today is that we have a distinguished club, president distinguished club in our first year. We need 8 members for that. The education path is going fine. So district, our division director is there. This will be music to your ears. You will have a president distinguished club here. So, and we have the vision that at the end of the year, we would be going around the world with various entrepreneur clubs, like we have had meetings with Central. So we have already tied up with Pune Entrepreneur Club, Hyderabad Entrepreneur Club, and some entrepreneur clubs in the US. So it would be dedicated like we have CSC, the competitive club. This club would be dedicated for the businessmen. Like we did workshop on podcasting, we did a workshop on, we are doing LinkedIn, and then we are bringing the world champion. And we've already done this pitch day, which is again, so I have taken more than my speaking time here on closing it. I hope I have given you your vision statement, the numbers, 30 for the members end of the year. Make sure sure that we get all the members renewed or have 20 members so that we can get to the President Distinguished Club. So my numbers are correct and my vision is very, very clear. It should be beneficial for all the stakeholders, for Suresh, for me, for the club, for the Toastmaster community. This is my vision. And with this, please support us. Come. Paul has given us 2 VPPR for promoting the next event because we didn't have a full-time VPR till now. She has just joined. Manju is going to be very inspired with having to work with Centraler for the first event. Let us go ahead and get 100 people there on that event. Will we be able to do that? You are also part of a VPR. We want you to do some promotion for this. Get Gulaman, get anyone, but let us get 100 people on that. 50 on hybrid, at least 30, 40. Okay, and I promise you it is going to be a very good workshop. He's a very, very professional leading coach, and his speeches are very well addressing a lot of public from all over. Okay. Thank you so much. When can we? This location only live. Hybrid again. Thank you again, fellow Toastmasters. Without you, this is not possible. He is my division director when I was the area director, and he pushed me back into it, and he gave me a lot of meaning into it. Thank you so much, Coen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Stella. And thank you, Karuna, for arranging those snatch pieces.